Great evening, everyone. Great evening. So glad you're here with me today on the Barbara H. Smith Show. We have an amazing lineup for you today. I am the celebrity trainer speaker, and I help those who are CEOs, executives, C-level employees, and above to explain themselves better, communicate what they do, what they have, and what they bring to the table, and why anyone should care, so that they can engage their audiences and tell their stories. So today we have our first celebrity up on the platform, on the stage, on the show, in the person of Shelly Shelton. Shelly Shelton formed Shelly Shelton and Associates LLC and is a 15-year veteran in talent acquisition. She's a motivational speaker and the founder of Unstoppable University. Shelly is an author and an interior decorator. And she has several divisions: Unstoppable University, Aspiring Speakers Academy, Shelton Interior Decorating and Staging, Shelly Shelton Design, say that 3 times fast, TLC Recruiting Academy, and she is the author of SMILE, How to Guide to Get Through Any Storm, and the Chandler book series, which we're going to talk a lot about today. I'm so excited to bring to the show Shelly Shelton. Shelly! Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
I am super fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great now that I see you on the show. I'm so glad to have you on the show. So we're going to just dig right in. And I want you to tell the audience a little bit more about who Shelly Shelton really is.
Yeah. Wow, that's a phenomenal question. So, who is Shelly Shelton? You know, you guys heard Barbara introduce me with all of these businesses and things that I've done, but truly, I am essentially a life learner. I love to give. I'm a caring person. I'm an author. I'm going after the life that I've dreamed of having. And I love to bring people a part of it. I love to coach and be a part of things that are so incredibly special. And I think that has defined who I am today. So I'm so ecstatic about today. I can't stop smiling. I'm super excited about being on tonight. But truly, truly, that's who I am. And I'm excited to kind of talk about all the details behind some of that. But I think truly that's who Shelly Shelton is.
That's phenomenal. I also know that you are a speaker in your own right and a phenomenal entrepreneur. Let's talk some about what it means to be a speaker and how do you get in front of audiences? What's your strategy to get in front of audiences?
What's my strategy to get in front of audiences? You know, I think the first thing is you've got to be so incredibly confident in who you are and confident in your story. I think the thing with me is I learned years ago that your story changes lives. So you've got to be confident in your story, confident in who you are, and who best knows you other than you and God. So I think that's like the first piece of speaking. That's the first piece of it. I like to do what I call the hook. Like that's the piece that kind of pulls people in. What hooks people? You know, what hooks you into saying, I want to listen to this girl. I want to know who she is. Like what happens? You know, what's the story? And so those are some of the things that I love to talk about. That was, I think, has made me really excited about speaking over the years and has drawn people to me with speaking. And I'm just so excited about helping people in their journey to tell their truth. So those are just some of the things when it comes to speaking.
So when did you first decide that you wanted to be a speaker?
When I was in 3rd grade, my 3rd grade teacher actually said to me that I would be a motivational speaker. I was 8 years old. I had no idea what that was. I didn't know. I was in school and I was trying to do my best. And my 3rd grade teacher said to me, do you realize that you have a gift? And I said to her, what gift are you talking about? She had assigned our class, and this is for those parents, those students that are listening to us tonight. She had said to me, do you realize that you have a gift? And she had assigned to the entire class for us to recite the Gettysburg Address. Now, I've always been good with memorizing stuff, putting some passion behind it. And I never knew that this thing that was kind of easy to me was a gift. And so she shared that with me. And then later on in life, I really started using that gift and using it and using it. It's so interesting. Right after that, with my third grade teacher, churches started calling me to do stuff at their churches. There were special events that were happening, and people were calling me. I was in the third grade. I was 8 years old. And so it was unbelievable. But it was my first take on that if you have a gift, allow your gift to work for you. And that no matter what, even if I even posted today on Facebook, even if someone gets fired at their job, you will never get fired from your gift. You will always have a gift that you can continue to use. And so, yeah, it was third grade.
I love that, because that's typically where we really know where our passion is and our gifting is. But many times we don't dig into when did it start. So that's a great place to start this conversation. And I want to ask another question about speaking right now before we move on to your book stuff that I'm really excited about. I want to know, when do you come alive on stage? Is it when you get backstage, before the event, or when is that? When is that?
Wow, that's a phenomenal question. I become on fire as soon as I can feel the lights are on me. And it's interesting how that happens. Like, just like tonight, I could feel the light turn on me. Like, it's like on my computer, there's this green light. I felt it come on me. And as soon as that is there, something comes over me. And it makes me say, it's your time to tell your story. It's your time to help people. It's your time to make things happen. But as soon as the lights turn on.
And that's a great place to start, when you get the lights. But I kind of get started behind the stage. I start jumping up and down, and I start screaming, and I start shaking my head like it's time, it's go time. That's kind of my thing to do. In any event, let's move on now to talking about how you've come through so much tragedy, so many things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I used to be blind and unable to walk. So it's interesting that you were talking about all the things that I've been through. I used to be blind, unable to walk. I went through a divorce after a 21-year relationship. And I tell people all the time, and even if you go to my YouTube and just go to Shelly Shelton, you will see my video that says motivational speaker, divorce recovery. And I say in that video that when I went through divorce, it was 10 times worse than being blind and unable to walk. And it was because of the level of commitment, the level of time, the understanding, the compromise, the love, the caring, like all of that goes inside of a marriage. When all of that falls apart, it was incredibly devastating. And what's so interesting, though, the piece of my story that I love to tell is the bounce back. And you can go through tragedy. You can go through a period in your life where you completely fall apart. I tell everyone, I was toe up from the floor up. And I couldn't even recognize myself. But the thing I want everyone to know, and so for whoever is listening to this, who's watching this tonight, whatever you're going through right now, whatever storm that you are going through, you can bounce back. You can come out of it. Your pain is temporary. It is not permanent. And so I'm so blessed that today, one of the things that I've been able to do is to help people bounce back and learn how to love life again.
I love that, because when we go through tragedy, when we go through struggle, we have to know that this thing has come to pass.
Absolutely.
And knowing that you've done so much with your life, now you help people get through divorce. Talk some about what you do to help people get through divorcees.
Yeah. So those that are going through separation and divorce, I have tools and resources. I have a podcast. I have coaching sessions with me. I tell people all the time, my tagline when it comes to the divorce recovery is I'm that chick that's going to get you through separation and divorce. I'm going to get you through the emotional drama, the financial trauma, and all those moments where you're going to feel like calling your mama and your daddy too. And so I am that person that can help you get through separation and divorce.
That's awesome. So I want to move now to the place that makes me the happiest. And that's your books and
Yeah.
what they are. Talk some about that.
Yes, yes. So I have three books that I absolutely love. My first book that I published is called Smile, the How to Guide to Get Through Any Storm. And it speaks to those that are going through separation and divorce, how to bounce back, how to love life again. It goes through my story. And then the ultimate is the Chandler series. That's what I'm so super excited about. I have two books that are the adventures of Chandler and the traveling prayer shawl. I absolutely love them. The second book, my newest book, is called Chandler Goes Camping. So it's a series, and it's a series of books that were birthed from a place of love. I dreamed of having a son, and his name would be Chandler, and so God birthed my baby into a series of books, and I'm just super excited about it. So he has great messages throughout both of the books. I have a third one that's coming out, and he does some phenomenal things. He's a very mature 11-year-old African American kid that has some of the most incredible friends. He has a phenomenal support system at home, and does a lot of great things. And of course, he speaks to not only going after your dreams at such a young age, because he becomes a kid entrepreneur, but he also speaks to helping people, sharing, and being there for people. And it has some of the most incredible messages. And so I've been super excited about sharing it. And here lately, we've had principals, assistant principals, and superintendents and CEOs that have been reading my books to their kids, and actually have been on social media with me as well, discussing some of the takeaways. So it's been absolutely awesome.
So that is absolutely awesome. And more than that, you're leaving out good stuff. You're leaving out good stuff. The
Okay.
stuff I want you to also add is that you've got a workbook that goes with it, right?
Yes.
And that they're using it for homeschooling.
Yes. Yes.
So talk to them about that.
Yes, yes. So yes, I have a teacher's guide that I wanted to talk with you guys about. It is absolutely awesome. So if you are a homeschooler and you're homeschooling your kids or your grandkids, nieces or nephews, or you're a teacher or you're a substitute teacher, I have a resource that will help replace a lesson plan. And essentially, it is a teacher's guide. It has all the core elements. There's math exercises, English, there's science, there's social studies. And so for those teachers and homeschooling moms, dads, parents, grandparents, and caregivers, I know it's hard for you right now, especially teachers, if you are in the classroom, you're trying to teach from that perspective and teaching from an online perspective. And so it's been pretty tough. I've been talking to a lot of teachers. And so it is another resource, another tool for you to grab that gives you a time to just sit back and relax and say, you know what? I don't have to worry about my lesson plan for this week. Shelly Shelton has already taken care of it. So it's a phenomenal resource. And it goes along with the book, Chandler Goes Camping. So you can get both, or you can just get one. But I would love for you to get both, of course, because the teacher's guide goes along with the book.
Absolutely. And there is another component that she's still leaving out. You're leaving out the goods, Shelly. You're leaving out the goods. What about the reading time?
The reading time. So yeah, so there's we have a club. So you can join the club. It's a Facebook club called Read with Chandler. And see, I have so many things going on, y'all, that I forget all the stuff, the great stuff, because I have so much going on. But I'm so glad that Barbara's like, she's leaving out the good stuff. So there is a Facebook club that you can join, you can be a part of. Like you can jump on right now as I'm talking and just go to Facebook, type in Read with Chandler, and just ask to be submitted to the group, and we'll invite you in. It is a private group, but it's a group that has motivational lessons from Chandler. There's parental mentorship, from me, and there's loads of fun activities for your kids. And we want to know what kind of adventures you and your kids are going on inside the house, what really nice things you have going on as far as activities, some fun stuff, and what kind of fun activities are you doing outside. And then we're also presenting some opportunities where we are giving you some activities to do with the kids. So it's a really, really fun club. So join the club. It's called Read with Chandler. It's absolutely awesome. Right now we have almost 200, maybe 150 members. And so we'd love to have you guys become a part of the Read with Chandler group.
So with the Read for Chandler group, you've had some phenomenal stories to tell, some testimonials. Can you share with us what some of the parents are saying about the Read with Chandler series?
Oh, yes. We have loads of testimonials. So we have a testimonial that came in from a gentleman, that actually two that have said to me, hey, can we read? Like, we want to jump on your show, Shelly Shelton. We want to read, and the book we've already purchased it. We would love to read it to your listeners and read it to our grandkids. And so I've had them indicating this was powerful. It's a powerful message. There's been the superintendent and his three boys from Florence, Alabama, that were on my show, and they read it together. Oh, it was fantastic. So the kids were talking about how much they loved it, because Chandler, they talked about how Chandler helps people. He has a giving heart. And the parents are talking about things with the family structure, that as soon as you open the book, you instantly feel the love from the parents and from those that are interacting with Chandler. You instantly feel love and support. And so the family structure is so vital. And it's really helping those that are kid entrepreneurs or aspire to be a kid entrepreneur, because he actually has his own business. It's worldwide. And he speaks to the fact that he has it, and that it stemmed just because he was caring about people. And so I would love for you guys to pick the book up. Again, it's called Chandler Goes Camping. Pick it up. We have principals, assistant principals. We have teachers that have been sending comments and stuff. It's been absolutely awesome. Fantastic.
So we have another question. We have a question out here, but before we go to the question, I also want you to plug. Chandler got gear, man. Chandler has gear.
Yes, Chandler has gear, y'all. Chandler has gear. So he has cups, sweatshirts, hoodies, and he has little wallets. He has backpacks, and all of this stems from what was happening in the book. And he's such a giving and caring young man. But he has all this gear. So for those that would love to support, you grab the book, you get the teacher's guide, you get the other book, and take a look at the gear. It's on, I think it's streaming across the screen now. To order it, unstoppableuniv.com/gear, and check it out. Like, there's so much. There's for babies, there's clothing for babies, for toddlers, for adults. We have individuals that have volunteered to be models for us and have been modeling the gear. They love it so much because it's a really great representation of a young kid that is making his mark on this planet, making his mark on this earth. So thank you so much. His gear is phenomenal.
Well, we have a question. One of the questions is, who inspires and motivates you?
Ooh, that's an awesome question. There's like I would say probably three or four main people that really inspire me. Number one is my mom. My mom is not a speaker. She's not a president. She's not a VP like Kamala. But my mom has such grace and tenacity and such willpower. And I've seen her go through so much. And so my mom motivates me. She inspires me. Also, there's the number one motivational speaker in the world, that's Eric Thomas. He motivates me. He inspires me. There's people like my soror, Kamala Harris, a VP of the United States. Like, she inspires me. She motivates me. And the thing I love about her is she becomes two things. Like, she is this incredible woman that is sitting behind the president of the United States. And then she's also this woman that's so casual. She's herself. She's so dope. She wears her Chuck Taylors, what I call them, and she can be herself. She's our home girl. So I absolutely love her. So those are just some of the people that inspire me.
You have so many other things going on. I wanted to focus in on Chandler and the books, but talk some about your interior design.
Yeah, I realized how much I love decorating, and I had photographers that were saying, "Why don't you have your own business?" And in essence, when after I went through divorce, I realized there were some goals that I had buried, and when my ex left, it's like I got a shovel and dug all of those goals up. And one of those goals was I always wanted to do interior decorating. So those that need DIY help, they call their individuals and sellers that need help with staging their properties, their home. The market right now is really hot. And so I have Shelton Interior Decorating and Home Staging that is here to provide services for photographers, realtors, Airbnb, landlord owners, like, landlords and investors, everyone. So just you can actually jump on sheltonhomestaging.com and get more information about that.
So I got to ask you, with all that you've got going on, how do you keep it together, Miss Shelton?
That's a wonderful question. I think that's by far the best question tonight, Barbara. Oh my gosh, how do I? I think God has been so good to me. And it's by the grace of God that I'm able to balance everything. When you are passionate and you love what you do, it doesn't feel like hard work. It does not feel like hard work. And I know y'all have probably heard this before, but when you love what you do, everything just falls into place. So, I have a prayer community called the Lady Lions, and you can probably see I have my shirt on, I have my gear on with that. And it's the most amazing women on this planet. And I have learned so much from these women. And we have such a supportive system that if I need prayer, these ladies are there for me. So I will say how I balance it is one, through prayer, two through 10. The reason is all God. Like, the first one's prayer, the whole 2 through 10, like all God. It is all God as far as how I can balance this. But when you are passionate about what you do and how you do it, it all feels like it's just easy, even though it's a whole lot. So don't get that twisted. But but it's all God. He's been so good to me.
You are an amazing person since we first met some 7 years ago. And you have elevated every single step of the way. I see you all over social media. I've seen you on platform. You speak, teach, educate, pray, keep it all together, and help people all at the same time, which I think is phenomenal. Are there some your superpower is your why? Why do you choose these services? Here's another question from Dwana Parker. Why do you choose these particular services to serve people?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, Ms. Parker. The reason I chose these particular services is when I came out of the process of divorce and went through everything that I went through, I said to God, tell me what it is that you would have of me to do. And he gave me this list of things to do. And in essence, when I first started my business, Unstoppable University was to help people grow and to help you understand that no matter what, you are unstoppable. And then after that, God said, okay, now that you've done that, I need for you to teach people to speak their truth. And so Aspiring Speakers Academy was developed. And then I did that. And then he said, okay, now I need you to teach people that when they go through, they get through, when they get home, they need to feel like they're on vacation. And so Shelton Home Staging and Shelton Interior Decorating and Home Staging was created. And then after that, like it's like there's something. So God just laid the foundation for me.
That's just amazing. I want you to give whatever hashtag or email or whatever, however they can contact you. Your banner is showing at the bottom, but if you want to give one extra plug on something particular, now's your time. Go ahead and do that.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm looking at the banner. So ShellyShelton.com, that website, unfortunately, is not utilized now. So the website that we use is UnstoppableUNIV.com. So it's UnstoppableUNIV.com. And I want people to have an understanding that it doesn't matter what you're going through. You can go after every single dream. My prayer that I pray every single day is simply this: I am going after the dream. I'm going after the dream. I have a dream for my life, and so my prayer is I'm going after the dream. And so I want you to go after your dream. So my dreams now are that my books will be out in the marketplace. They'll be everywhere. I dream that. I believe that it will come to fruition. Whatever dream you have, it will come to fruition. You've got to say it. You got to speak it. You got to talk it, and it will happen. You've got to believe it. I am in true belief that the Teacher's Guide is going to be everywhere. It's going to be phenomenal. Why? Because I believe that it is. God said his promises are what they are. And so I trust and believe in him. And then the last thing that I want to say to you is, I know that there's some people right now that say, oh, no, I can't do it. If you keep saying you can't do it, no, you won't do it. But if you believe that you can do it, you can do it. I'll say this. I have a tattoo on my arm that says Luke 1:37. And that is, for with God, nothing is impossible. So I trust and believe in him. And I pray that you all do as well. So Barbara, thank you so much for tonight. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, I was going to let you off the hook, but I'm going to give you one last chance to tell your dream about Chandler becoming a cartoon, and you tell the rest.
Yes. Yes, you're so good to me. Y'all, my dream is that Chandler Jalen Shelton, that's the name that I wanted my baby to be. My dream is that he becomes a cartoon. Y'all know Dora the Explorer. My dream is that my Chandler becomes a cartoon. I dream and have been praying for the longest time that Tyler Perry notices this child, has learned about this book from Barbara's show, from my social media, from wherever, and says, I want to put this child into a cartoon. That is my dream. That is my goal. And I'm going to speak it every single day. That is the ultimate goal. He becomes a cartoon and he impacts the world. He's not just in the US, he is global. And he's changing lives, and he's allowing kids to see that you can be anything that you want to do. All you've got to do is just dream and trust and believe.
There you have it. And I want to thank you so much, Shelly, for being here with me today on the Barbara H. Smith Show. We have enjoyed you so much. And we hope that you're going to post, share, and connect with Shelly as soon as you can. Thank you so much, Shelly. And we're going to go to commercial break, and we'll be right back. Don't you go anywhere. Hi, I'm Barbara H. Smith, known as the Masterful Presenter. If you could figure out a universal language, personality code that connects with potential client, how powerful would that be? I empower people to communicate better what they do, what they have, and what they bring to the table. People love to buy. I don't need you to sell it to me. I come in there with an intention, and that's what you're going to do going forward. You're going to go into networking events with intention.
I am here benefiting from the wisdom of Barbara Smith.
She gave so much information on how I can just excel in my business, and I'm taking it to a whole nother level.
I'm learning a lot that I didn't really know about my business.
The information that she's been presenting has been informative and helpful to me.
If you have not been in the presence of Miss Holmes Smith, you need to make sure you do so. Her workshops are authentic. She comes with such training, and she just graces you with her presence, and she allows you to feel the experience like none other before.
Hey, we're back. So glad you're back with me. I have another guest. So excited for this guest that's coming up right now. Born and raised in Jamaica, Renee moved to the United States by the age of 14, and 4 years later, she joined the Army, where she served more than 20 years, retiring as captain. After her service, Renee became a personal trainer, passionate about fitness and health, and opened her own gym, Island Jam Fitness, which blended her experience in health and wellness with her background in Jamaican culture. As a wife and mother of two, Renee became the boss of all elements of her life. That's where she gets the Fit Mom CEO. From combat vet to Fit Mom CEO, she shows how women can become the boss of their lives. After a life-changing medical diagnosis created an awareness for healthier living, she believes that healthy living contributes to wealth and abundance. She demonstrates this health and wellness as she supports women who battle with body image, low self-worth, and low self-esteem. You know, as we get older, our bodies change, and the only choice we have is to embrace and work through those changes so that we can have a healthy home, a healthy work life, and a healthy whole life balance. She helps make fitness a priority and teaches everybody how to train smarter, eat better, and make healthier choices to boost your overall health in your life. I'm bringing to the show right now Renee Jones Hudson.
Hi, Barbara.
Hey, girlfriend, you look gorgeous. Look at you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my God. So I'm so excited because you're on the show. Why is that? Because I just signed up for the Fit in 30 Body Challenge. Did I get it right?
Fit Body Challenge. You got most of it. You got most of it.
Yeah. So people don't know that some months ago, back in December 24th, I decided to take on my health because I saw some numbers that didn't look really good for me.
Right.
And so I started my own weight loss fitness thing. Lost 25 pounds. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. But I saw you were having a fit challenge, and I thought, this is going to bump my plateau because I'm having a plateau now. Bump my plateau to the next level. So I joined the Fit Challenge. But before we talk about the Fit Challenge, because I'm going to be challenging the people on the audience to jump in on here. Before we talk about that, I want to talk some about what it takes for you to communicate to your clients what you're doing. What do you do?
So what I usually do first is listen. And how I do that is normally I would have an intake. Now I'm doing most of my training online. So it's the same process. It's just that I'm not in front of you physically, but I usually listen to what the client is saying to me. And then I ask questions and I steer them into, because basically people know what it is they need to do for themselves, but sometimes you just need a push. You just need a reminder that, yes, I need to take care of my body. I need to be better to myself. So I listen to their pain points and then we come up with solutions together, because at the bottom line is you already know. I'm just here to just push you.
I don't think some of us really know. I think, or we're in denial, one of the two, right? So,
Yeah.
how do you, what's your process? Okay, so I'm a customer coming to you and I say, Renee, I need your help. I'm doing a plateau right now and I need your help. What do you do? What do you tell me?
I ask you, what are you doing? So what have you been doing? Right. And once you tell, if you give me your meal, your exercise, sometimes, most of the time, I won't even say that. Sometimes it's either the meal or the exercises. If you're doing the same exercises all the time, you're gonna hit a plateau. So you need to change it up. And most people, like, they'll say, I say my 30-day plan, right? They'll take that and they'll do that for a while. But if you're not increasing the weight, you have to do so many changes. Increase the weight, increase the reps, increase or do time sets, or it could be your nutrition. So if you're eating the same thing for 3 months, you're not going to see any changes, so it's an adjustment on both sides, fitness and nutrition.
Okay, so you're trying to tell me that I can't eat my oatmeal every morning. Is that what you're saying? I can't.
You can eat your oatmeal every morning, but you might need more food. You might not be eating enough food, right? So if you're eating the same amount of calories, and I don't like to use calories, but I'll just use it for ease. But if you're eating the same amount of calories for 2-3 months and you're working out and like you've increased your weight, your body's going to need more food to support the additional resistance that you've added. So, because it's gonna change, but if you're not feeding it, then it has nothing to pull from.
Okay, you were recently in Puerto Rico. Was that for pleasure or was that work?
That was pleasure, a little bit of work. That was my self-care. That was me taking a break. But I have to give credit to my cousin because she pulled me away. So, but I needed it. It was really a good reset for me.
That's
So
good. Puerto Rico is a beautiful
it
country.
is. It is.
I should say beautiful state. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. United States.
Yeah.
Tell me something about this challenge that, first of all, let me say this. Anybody listening out there, I am challenging you to join me starting April 1st for 30 days with Renee Jones Hudson. I'm challenging you. So, Renee, talk to us about what we can experience. For example, let me ask this question before you go into it. I don't like to do a lot of running and jumping. Unless somebody chasing me, I ain't running. So what do you have for that?
So I have modifications for, so the way the plan is set up, I have options. So if you're a beginner, I may put on there you're gonna walk. If you're intermediate or advanced, I may put run, or I insert a Tabata or a HIIT workout for the more intermediate and advanced participants. So everything will have a modification to it. So you don't have to worry about, even if I put a burpee in there, there's a modification to the burpee. So the goal is for you to move. So the goal is for you to move and move at your own pace, not to overdo it, because oftentimes people, they come sprinting out the gate, right? And then once they get to maybe just the 100-meter mark, they're burnt out. So you haven't even ran the whole lap because you started off too fast. So the goal is to get you to move at your own pace, but I'm providing the workouts. But I don't want people to be intimidated by the workouts because, like I said, it's your pace, and I'm providing modifications for you to be able to continue with it for the 30 days, because this will help you build habits, right? I don't want you to just quit in the middle of it because you're like, I can't get it. You know, it's self-paced, it's your pace with modifications. So Barbara, you can walk.
So you have a Facebook group that we're going to be a part of, and
Right.
then you want to talk to us about the process, including the nutrition.
Yes. So the nutrition piece, what I'm going to do is provide a basic nutrition plan. Basically, provide an example of the healthier options for your meals. And what I'll do in addition to that is also provide a healthy options food list. So you can pick and choose. It's not going to really detail out a plan like I would do for the normal clients, but I would basically provide a template so that you can follow that with the options that I'm going to provide.
Okay. Dewana wants to know, why do people come to you, and what can they expect in terms of balance?
So for the most part, why people come to me, I mainly, and this is why I kind of rebrand to the Fit Mom CEO, because I mainly service women, and most of the time it's the busy professional, or just the busy you're busy women. We wear many hats, and that's where the CEO comes from. You're the boss of your job, of your house, of your life, of everything that comes up, right? Your mom, everything. So the balance with that is to make sure you're taking care of all those things, but you're also going to take charge of yourself, your body, right? So that you can function for all those other aspects and yourself. So I feel that people come to me because I try to relate, you know, and I can relate, right? I'm relatable. And then my approach is not to do the yelling and screaming. My approach is actually to do more of a motivation, because I find that a lot of us women, like I said, we go through our changes. Like, I'm in my 40s and my body is changing. And, you know, sometimes we don't know how to handle those changes. You know, like when I first realized that I was going through some things, I was like, wait a minute, I'm too young for this. But I want to be there to motivate and inspire. Look, embrace the changes. You know, you're not too old. It's just a process. That's part of life. That's what we have to go through. And still work to, don't let yourself go, but work to improve on yourself while you're embracing those changes.
Yeah, you talk about being 40 and you going through the change. We're not going to even have that conversation.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So
you don't have to.
My body is doing things on its own. You know, like how you used to, some of y'all may not know this, but you used to wake up in the morning and throw your legs over the bed and jump up and hit the floor running.
Yeah.
Now, when we wake up in the morning, throw the legs over there and think about it for a minute.
Yeah. You trying to make sure you gauge how far the floor is before you get out. Yeah, I know.
And even more than that, the fact that when you stand up on those legs, you hoping they still work.
Yes. Yes, I get it. I get it. Believe me. I'm like, wait a minute. What is really going on? I wake up with aches and pains and I'm like, what did I do? I don't remember running into anything. You know, like you said, your body's just doing whatever it wants to.
So I'm really excited about what we're about to embark on with this training. I was concerned that I am seasoned, you know, salt and pepper in the hair. So
I love that word.
I didn't want to hurt anything because I need these parts to continue.
Yes.
Keep going and stuff. So anyway, you are also retired from, is it
the Army?
Yeah, the Army. talk some about how you transitioned from being in the Army as a captain and then coming into your own as a fitness professional outside the civilian world.
Okay, that is an interesting thing. So, my transition out of the Army, what I would suggest is that people do take some time to adjust. I didn't do that. I just jumped right in, opened my business, and just took off. And just like I spoke about how people start off the race sprinting, that was me until one day, you know, things slowed down, and it's almost like everything came crashing down. But I did a under job, I just adjusted. So my transition out of the Army, I had to actually learn how to be a civilian, if that makes sense. So, I've been in the Army 21 and a half years. That's since I was 18 years old. So all I know is military. And coming out of the military and, coming into the civilian sector, there's no rank, right? There's no, from my experience, it wasn't the camaraderie that I was used to, my brother, my battle buddy. It's not like that. It's almost like a crab in a barrel kind of thing. And it's not as dirty as I say it, but it's every man for himself, right? So I had to kind of learn to adjust that way. And that, for it, to be honest, it was a little difficult. It was a little challenging because I had to relearn. I had to relearn how to engage in the community, engage people. And what I found, Barbara, was the confidence that I had as a leader in the military. I didn't have it when I got out. I did not, because now I'm like a fish in a big body of water of other fishes. So I had to, I joined networking groups and just try to build my confidence that way on this platform. So that's how I kind of transitioned. I had to do a little adjustment. I went through a little adjustment period. I mean, downs and ups and just trying to figure it out.
And that's interesting because we don't really think about the fact that when people are in the military, that they're so, especially if they've served more than 5, 10, 20 years,
Yeah.
that they have to transition into society.
Yeah.
People in society are not really understanding that transition.
Right. So, there's no rank in society.
Yeah.
Not like that.
There is, but not like that.
Right.
So Tawana wants to know what advice do you give for healthy living in this busy environment, in this fast-paced world?
So that's a really good question because everything is fast. Food is fast. So I recently transitioned my diet from I'm now vegan, or transitioning to veganism. And what I found that I've had to do is, if I'm going to be out, I either have to look ahead to see where I could stop to eat or bring my own food. And the other thing is, I would recommend cooking your own food because, like I said, fast food is everywhere, and that's how we get the overweight challenges and all that stuff. So instead of eating out all the time, I would just recommend, walk with some fruit, some nuts, healthy options, healthy food, and even read food labels. But the quickest suggestion I could tell you is to cook your own food and walk with food, like walk with a bag of food. I used to do that in the military. I walked with my lunch bag everywhere I went, and I ate every 3 hours.
And that's a great tip, especially in this COVID coronavirus environment. I don't really like eating out much anymore at all. So
yes,
I cook. I cook at home. And like you said, I'll take, tangerines or nuts or something with me if I get hungry, just to stave off the hunger pains. But for the most part,
Yeah.
virtual classes. Someone's asking about virtual classes and how do we get in touch with you?
So to get in touch with me, you can visit my website at reneejoneshudson.com. And there's a way to get in touch with me on there. Just really fill out a contact form. And I actually do personal training online. Now, if you're in the Atlanta or Locust Grove area, which is where I'm at now, I do it at my house. I have my fitness studio in my basement, so I train there. But most of my personal training classes, it's one-on-one, and it's on Zoom. I do it virtually.
That's awesome. I'm going to probably need that after challenge. So once you're done with the 30-day, I don't know if you want to divulge the information, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Okay.
If you're done with the 30-day challenge, what's next?
So, and what's next is if you want to continue with your healthy living, your healthy lifestyle, then that's when you can, contact me for additional personal training sessions. So, because I did the challenge to kind of get people, like I said, to get people moving, to jumpstart your journey. If you're in a position where you want to lose weight, but you just don't know how or where to start. This is that jumpstart for you. This is where I'm giving you the resources and the tools, so that if you want to continue, definitely we can talk about that after the challenge, about how we can move forward from there.
So I have a question about the difference between your intake in food and your exercise, because I always thought when I used to teach, I'm going to date myself now. When I used to teach jazzercise classes, I used to eat thinking, I worked out for an hour and a half today. I can eat whatever I want. And my weight stayed the same for years. Talk to me about what is the difference and which one makes the most sense.
So that's what most people do. They eat, so they work out so they can eat whatever they want, which is it's not good. So food is not just medicine, but it is literally what, and I'll say this because it goes hand in hand with exercise. Um you can't just eat whatever you want. There are nutrient dense foods. There are foods that are good for your body. They help different parts of your body. There's micronutrients in the food, the macronutrients, which is the protein, carbs, and the fats. And you want to get the quality version of it, not just eating a burger or, just fast food and then going to work out. So you want to get the foods that are going to enhance your performance, as well as give you the physique that you're looking for, because that's where, so the exercise is what shapes it, right? You carve it out with that, but the food is also the part that is really driving all of that. So you don't want to just eat whatever. You want to have the right foods in your body.
And so how do you know which is the right foods with all the stuff, the low fat, the low cal, the low, the high energy, how do you know, where do you get the right advice? Because I think that I'm eating right, and I look at the scale, and the scale saying, no.
Yeah.
Are there other, how do you get the right food?
So I want to be honest, because it's more about your portions too, because you can eat, and I won't promote this. I do recommend you eating healthy options like lean meats, fruits, vegetables, water. I'm the simplest thing, but we fail to do that. Drink water, take in the foods that are gonna nourish and feed your body, and that are good to your body, that are good to your gut. So you want to read nutrition labels. Saturated fats, that's usually what you find in fast food. Processed food is what I should say. But you do want to look at eating more lean meats, more fruits, plenty vegetables, and complex carbs like brown rice, quinoa. You want to eat sweet potatoes, stuff like that. That's the stuff that's going to help your body and help propel you to the next level. And definitely watch your portion, because even though you're eating the right food choices, you can eat too much, right? So it's a balance, because you can eat too much or you can eat too little. So you want to have a healthy balance with that as well.
You have given us so much to think about. One last question about nutrition. And you talked about balance. You talked about the right food choices. I want to talk just a little bit. This is our last question for you. Is there a real difference in eating, what do we call it? The food that is most expensive. What do we call it?
The organic?
Organic. I don't know why that hit me for a second. Organic, because I eat a lot of organic food. Is there a real difference in eating organic, or is that just a scam? They're trying to get more money from us out of the grocery store?
So this is going to be a personal response, okay? I think the difference with the organic is that if I remember correctly from what I read, it's that it's got less chemicals associated with it. But if you're like, sometimes if you do, you want to eat the food in its more natural state if you can, like fresh fruits and vegetables, and you don't like, I think especially with vegetables, sometimes we tend to overcook that. You want to eat it, you just barely steam it to get it in the most natural state that you can. So I don't want to put any false information out there, but I think it's because there is less chemicals associated with organic versus non-organic. You're muted.
Thanks, I appreciate that. That's all the time we have today. I thank you so much, Renee, for being on the show today. I hope
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. I'm looking for anybody out there who's going to challenge me. Go to Renee's website, and thank you for spending time and space with me today. I'm Barbara Smith, your host of the Barbara H. Smith Show. Come back next week when we have more health professionals. Mental health professionals are coming on next week. I want to talk to you about how we manage our own mental health. Thank you so much again for being here tonight with me and spending time and space with Barbara H. Smith. Good night, everybody.